What's up, you guys? Thanks for tuning in. Week 10 on my road to 700 bench. This week actually didn't feel so good warming up. As you can see, the first rep here on 585, it did not move as quickly as I wanted it to. Can't really chalk it up to any one particular thing. I mean, motivation was a little bit low. Just kind of going into workout. Ate well, slept well, stress levels are down. Noticed that my shoulders couldn't really get them tight into the bench for whatever reason. Just chalk it up as a bad day. But as you can see, the speed here is not my normal fast 585. I did feel a little bit better when I watched the video. I like to watch my sets on video between each attempt, just to give myself that motivation and make me feel a little bit better. Going for 605 for a single on this particular day. Last week was 550 for 2 sets of 5 paused reps. This week's training called for 605 for a single, which was supposed to be about an RPE 8. I would say this one was 8.5, closer to 9, basically because I muscled it up. It didn't spring up. It didn't feel right. It didn't spring up the way it should. But after watching the video, I did feel a lot better, knowing that it moved a little quicker than I thought it did. The drop set for this today is 560. It was supposed to be for 5. You'll see here, I only got 4 reps out of it. It is a PR. Last week's 550 for 5 was actually a PR by 2 reps, and then I did it again for another 5, so that was definitely a PR. 560 for, I've actually never really done 560 for reps, but 560 for 3 would have been a 10-pound PR from last year. So anything with 560 for 4 or more is definitely a PR. Talking this over with my coach, Josh Bryant, I can definitely see kind of where the technical mistakes were made. As I get set here, you can kind of look and see that my shoulders don't get as tight as they normally would on some of my other videos. I'm a little bit loose here, and actually you can see right there I just pressed back, and I think that may have loosened me up just a little bit. Confidence going into this lift is an all-time low. So the way that it's moving, the speed is due to basically just muscling it up. That's not going to move 700 pounds when it comes to meet time. So we'll wrap things, up with this and chalk it up as kind of a bad day. I think it was just the motivation was down. We'll obviously see next week how everything goes, but nothing to be afraid of. That's part of training. Some days you have good days, some days you have bad. I'd rather have a bad day in training than at the meet. Plyometric push-ups here, same 3 sets of 3. These are working on explosion off the chest. Works very similar to dead press with body weight. This week's decline definitely higher than last week. This is 465 for 2 sets of 6. Felt a little out of the groove here. Basically just that chalked it up to my mental state going into the workout. Had to fight to get through every rep. Just didn't come as easy as it normally does. But kind of as the workout went on, energy levels, obviously are a little bit lower than in the beginning workout. Just basically chalked it up and found a good song and just kind of kept pressing through. So moving on, we've got back, and this week was 210 on the lat pull downs, 4 sets of 12, getting a nice squeeze at the bottom. These always suck. My back is just always tight and fried, but I also attribute my back to my progress in bench as well as other things. But definitely want to keep the back getting stronger. Will definitely provide a solid foundation for a much larger bench. Back really doesn't give me any issues as far as injury or anything that's nagging. It's just during the sets, I definitely feel the delts, the upper, the lats, really firing. So I definitely get a good burn. I know that it's working. As we progress in weight, obviously it gets a little bit harder. But the motivation overall for the season is at an all-time high. I don't doubt that the numbers will be there when they need to. At the same time, when it comes down to the weights that we're moving right now for the number of reps, there's really nobody else in the world doing it. So it is pretty cool to think that way. But the standard is a lot higher at an elite level, especially when you're working with weights that either nobody or maybe 4 people in the history of the planet have ever dealt with. So that's a really cool feeling. It's very humbling, but at the same time, there's a job to be done. Nobody gets to greatness by thinking in a mediocre fashion. So keeping the standard high is a must. So even with a low motivation, low energy, even a low strength day, other than being stupid about it and pushing through like an injury or anything like that, keeping the mental frame of mind on success is definitely crucial. Switched it up this week from the overhead triceps to one arms, singling each of them out. Did 3 sets of this, progressing in weight from 90 up to 120. Each set was 12. These are actually pretty easy. Not just easy on the elbows or easy just in effort. My triceps are pretty strong. I could probably do the whole stack, but it's definitely a balance issue. As you can see, I'm trying to keep my body still and keep my weight planted while doing those, but definitely it worked the triceps pretty good. Going on to these are really supposed to be seated flies. Couldn't really get a good angle without it being more of an incline, but still working the pecs here, getting a good squeeze at the top. By this point in the workout, my pecs are definitely feeling it. I'm feeling these a lot in the shoulders as well. So it's one thing to push through pain, but this wasn't very painful at all. It was mostly just a good burn. This definitely helps with explosion off the chest. Obviously, keeping a good bend at the elbows keeps the pressure off of the elbows. Tendonitis and things like that can tend to flare up this time of the season as we start getting closer and closer to training for reps with 600. But for the most part, this is kind of where I wrapped up the day. Didn't have a whole heck of a lot of different exercises. Typically just get in, get the work done with some heavy reps and get out. But I will let you guys know what we have next week, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and definitely follow me on Instagram at SwimHack. Thanks.